We often talk about generations as age groups like Gen X or Millennial, but there's another kind, and that's our spot in the family. For many of us, that place is right in the middle, raising kids on one side and caring for aging parents on the other side. It's called the sandwich generation. As you can imagine, that middle spot can make people feel squeezed. Here with help for a generation that's being spread thin, we have author and caregiving expert Michelle Seitzer. Good to have you, Michelle. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me here to talk about it.
Of course. So, Michelle, for someone who just realized this term applies to them, what does life typically look and feel like for a sandwich generation caregiver?
Well, you definitely spoke to it. They're squished in the middle there, so there's a lot of strain and a lot of pulling in different directions. You're taking the kids to soccer practice and picking mom up from the doctor, or vice versa, and repeat. So there's a lot of being pulled in different directions, and the pressure of keeping all the plates in the air and different schedules and needs.
Yeah, that's a
So
lot for
it's
a person to take on. What would you say are also the most common challenges people in this situation face that others might not see or even understand?
Mhm. Yeah, that's a great point because we think of it in very specific terms, like, well, you're just taking somebody to the doctor now and then, but it's so much more than that. You're really navigating the whole healthcare system in a lot of cases if you're caring for an aging parent and they need surgery or other types of care. So sometimes it's just orienting yourself to a whole new world of caregiving, while also parenting and raising your children of different ages. And they may be teens, you may even have toddlers at home still. And those stages are hard enough without adding another level. So I think that's something that people tend to forget about is it's a complete role reversal as well in the parent-child relationship when you're taking on caring for a parent.
Yeah, and are there any positives to being in this sandwich generation? Are there any unexpected gifts or maybe beautiful moments that can come from being in this caregiving role with your family?
Yes, absolutely. I think that many parents might want to shield their kids of varying ages from the stresses or the difficult parts of caregiving, but I think one of the unexpected gifts is allowing your children to be part of the caregiving experience, to develop empathy and compassion and a greater understanding of what's involved in caring for another. So I think that's a big one, and making memories that maybe wouldn't be possible if there wasn't that close connection of being together a lot through caregiving, being able to read stories together, which might give you as a sandwich caregiver a break if your son or daughter and your parent have some time to connect. So I think that can take the pressure off that caregiver as well, to see those relationships developing.
I like that we're showing both sides of the coin, the cons and the pros. What are the most essential resources that can offer a lifeline to someone feeling squeezed in the middle?
Absolutely. You need a village. It takes a village, just like it does to raise a child. And plugging into local resources is important, but also having people who get it that you can talk to. If there's other people, in your neighborhood or in your friend group that are experiencing the squeeze, talk to them, because sometimes you just need to vent out those frustrations
Yeah.
or process something difficult that happened. And it's really, really vital to have those friendships where people truly understand what's going on, what you're dealing with, and can be an emotional support for you, because it really takes a toll emotionally. You can run back and forth all the time and be tired, but you still keep going. But there does come a point, especially if you want to prevent burnout, where you need that emotional support as well.
And then is there anything that people might say? Maybe the intent is good, but what they're saying, it's not really
Mhm.
helpful. Are there things we
Yes.
should say or do instead or try to avoid saying?
Yes, absolutely. I think when you say what could be most helpful, rather than putting a caregiver on the spot and say, how can I help you? Or what can I do? That just sort of puts the sandwich generation caregiver on notice. And then they think, what is helpful? And a lot of
Mhm.
times they're so overwhelmed that they don't even know where to begin with that.
Yeah.
So I think it's more helpful to say, how can I support you best right now? Or I noticed that you have a lot of leaves in the yard. Can I rake them for you? Let's say
Mm,
if you're a neighbor.
yeah,
Just being more specific in your
yeah.
intentions to help, I think takes the pressure off that what can I do to help question.
Right. It sounds
And
like
also
almost
just
kind of
being,
having the
yeah,
solution for them.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, all very
Mhm.
helpful tips, and thank you for bringing this conversation to light, this term to light for some who may have not have heard of the sandwich generation. To our viewers, you can find practical advice, resources, and guidance to caregivers. Head to michelleseitzer.com.